Williams. Eric Williams, and whatever. And so he's a candidate for office, and so he chose to come in and spend a little time with us, and I certainly appreciate that. Okay, but let's talk about you.
Yes, sir.
So you're running for Congress.
Yes, sir. I'm running for U.S. Congress
Okay.
as an independent.
You're running as an independent.
I'll be on the ballot November 3rd, 2020.
So you will be on the ballot because like you don't have an opponent.
Oh, I have an opponent, Eddie Bernice Johnson.
Oh well,
And-
what I'm saying though,
and-
as an independent, you don't have an opponent in terms of clearing. The clearinghouse takes place in March.
Well, here's the deal, Brother Joe. I don't want to be a part of an elimination contest any longer. I want to be a part of the main contest.
Okay.
The main contest is the general election.
Mm-hmm.
You lose the primary, you don't go to the
You
general.
don't go to the
It's
general.
over
Yes.
completely.
Correct.
You win the general, you go to the general, you win the general,
Mhm.
it's over too.
Mhm.
So, or if you lose, it's over.
Yes.
But you're not eliminated. You're eliminated through the polarity vote. So in the general election, whoever gets the highest vote total
Right.
wins.
Right.
So whoever gets 30, 31, 36% wins. In the primary, you got to get 51% of the vote.
Okay.
That's an elimination contest.
Elimination. Yes. Yes.
So, and the great thing about this year, there will no longer be straight party ticket voting.
no longer be
So
straight
Eddie
party
Bernice
ticket
Johnson
vote.
won't have the umbrella of protection from 67% of those votes that she's been getting from just straight party ticket voting.
Mm-hmm.
So those votes are going to go away. So the people that have been cheating
Mm-hmm.
and carrying on,
Oh,
hopefully,
have they cheated?
yeah, we know they've been cheating. I done sued them before about that cheating
Uh-huh,
too.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'll be prepared for them this year as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can come because I'm coming out. I'm coming aggressive this year.
Yeah.
I'm planning on winning this year.
Mhm.
I'm planning on doing something completely different out the box this year.
Well, okay. Well, so what's going to make that difference in your running now as an independent versus your having run before? So,
Well,
so
I can tell you
why are you so confident that
Because the parties are messed up.
the parties are messed
They're
up?
divided.
Whoa.
I'm gonna take advantage of that division. People been taking advantage of division for a long time. We know who we're talking about. So I'm gonna take advantage of that division. And I'm just really looking forward to bringing the parties back together, uniting both the Democrat and Republican. I'm running purple, not blue, not red.
Right.
I'm running a raw color. So I'm leaning on God this year, very heavily. I'm leaning on God this year because I believe this is the year.
Yeah.
I believe that with the laws being changed, I challenged them before in 2014 when I ran. I challenged the laws then. Thank God they got it passed now. I've advocated for that to be changed. You know it and I know it. I spoke down to the county.
Sure.
I spoke to the city about it. Thank God they finally got around to changing that law. And if I'm going to win, this year is the year to win. I don't want to win as a Democrat. I don't want to win as a Republican. I want to win as an independent. And I want to show people that, hey, the impossible can become the possible.
Oh, sure.
So we got a lot of issues. We got a war we just got in with Donald Trump.
Yeah, you
So
can
pe-
go
pe-
ahead and say it.
So
That's what it's gonna be.
he done assassinated a president. A central general of Iran.
Well, and you did mistake that because like in terms of that Soleimani's
Leadership.
leadership and his level of prominence and stature.
He's up there.
Now he's up there,
Yeah.
second in line.
Second in line.
And
So
so
he
that's
is.
just like it's
Yeah.
really comparable to somebody taking out the vice president
Over here.
of the United States over here.
Over here.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So President Trump has gotten us into this quagmire, possibly. I covered the war in Bosnia, Sarajevo, ethnic cleansing. The Yugoslav people, a gentleman got killed on the corner, just like they did here with this gentleman here, Solomon in Iran, that started that war, which started World War II. So here we go again, killing another leader to start World War III. So I want to get in there and put a halt to some of this foolishness we got going on with this administration, because we really can't fight this administration working within the policies of each party. We got to fight this administration outside of those policies that these candidates agreed to and these pledges that they pledged to do when they become these party nominees. I don't want to be a part of no pledge.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Now, tell us, share with the audience a little bit about you or your background, your experience. I know you've done some media stuff and things of this nature, but what else should the my listeners and voters between now and, well, November, isn't it?
Yeah, I got a whole year.
November, but you know, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm locked in to
March.
to March, which is the primary.
Yeah.
But you're running as an independent.
Independent. Yes.
You're running as an independent,
Yes.
and so you'll be able to really bypass, in essence,
all of the nonsense.
all of the nonsense, and then excuse me, November the 3rd.
Right.
November
And the
3rd.
reason why I call it nonsense is because we pay for these, taxpayers pay for these primaries, but we don't get to decide what candidates or what potential parties can participate. So they don't allow third-party candidates to participate in the primaries. They force you to go to general. So I'm gonna take advantage of it. They force you to go to the general election as a means of oppressing you.
Yes.
So I'm the kind of person that I like to take challenges in stride. And so here I am again today. I want to go back to Washington. The first time I moved to Washington, I became the first African-American photojournalist and filmmaker to work for National Geographic National Geographic magazine as an African-American. And that was when I went to Washington the first time. Now I want to go back as the first African-American independent to be elected from the South and be elected to Congress, and going back to Washington with being unbought and unbossed, so that I can represent the people.
Shirley Chisholm, unbought and unbossed.
There you go. There you go. Unbought and unbossed. Because right now we got too many politicians in Dallas that have been bought. And we cannot make decisions for the people when you got your hands in the cookie jar. So a lot of these candidates are taking money from these corporations and these individuals that want things in return. I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
Okay.
I don't want that type of participation in my campaign.
Well, you know, what's interesting about that, and hopefully that my audience, which is certainly my listeners are more mature, and because I don't get a lot of phone calls, but I get comments from people who listen and who listen regularly or periodically and stuff like that, you know, that they enjoy the shows and that they like my talking, and then where they end up being educated, informed, and then where they can make decisions.
Yes, sir.
And I tell them, I said, this isn't the kind of show where you can call in and be 10 or 15 people waiting to come on and talk about. I could care less about what happened with the president of the Dallas Cowboys,
Right.
coaching or whatever the case is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So I could care less.
Right.
You know,
Got
about
more
that.
important issues.
There are more important issues.
Yes.
There are more important issues that have
Yes.
impacted my life.
Absolutely.
And the lives of those I love and know.
Absolutely.
And to be worried about who's going to coach and what the case is. And talk about we won, we this, and I'm this, and I'm that, what the case is. But there's a certain group of people in this country. Most folks, a lot of folks get involved in it, but among us, this certain group of which I speak, we just, it's almost like it's
We sleep.
well, we sleep, and that's why the rooster is trying to
Got
encourage
to crow.
folks to wake up. Yeah, got to crow. Rooster
Yes.
has to crow. Rooster has to crow, doesn't
Rooster has crow.
Rooster has to crow.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's like this is the only state of existence there is. But I talk a lot, and I've shared a lot, Brother Eric, regarding and I know in black culture, we are very hedonistic, and then it's about seeking pleasure
Yes.
and what have you, and then not much beyond that. And then we're I did a review of the book Black Bourgeoisie
Yes.
by E. Franklin Frazier. I'll
Mhm.
bring that. I'll bring that
Yes.
back again,
Yes.
and these kind of things. And so, but I have to just call
Call
a
it what it
spade a
is.
spade. I call a cloud a cloud. I call a pecan a pecan.
That's right.
And a lemon a lemon.
That's it.
As the referencing races.
Yes.
And what the case is, but so versus getting upset about it, do a self-examination.
Absolutely.
I like playing occasionally too. When there's a lot of hate, other kind of stuff going on. This song that you might remember by Aretha Franklin came out of the late '50s. Take a look in the mirror.
Take a look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then of course Michael Jackson.
Yes.
If you're going to bring about changes, you have to start
Within.
with the within, and then with the man
In the mirror.
Look in that.
Look in that mirror.
in that mirror.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You know.
And I've looked in the mirror, you know, and I've looked in
Yes,
the mirror
sir.
and I've seen myself, and I've seen some changes that I need to make within myself. and I've seen changes that need to be made within my community.
Oh, yes.
And those communities that I see in Dallas are a microcosm of all the communities in the urban communities around the nation. I mean, health, wealth, and economics is it. I mean, right now, if you look at this area of town is number one health disparity in all of North Texas. The number one health disparity is lung disease. The number one is diabetes, and the second one is lung disease. Who's killing us over here?
Yeah.
Asbestos and everything else is killing us. So EPA is allowing it to happen. Eddie Bernice Johnson is the chair of the EPA, which oversees all that.
Wow.
So she's not being effective leader and making sure our health is even correct. Prime example, Redbird Mall. You'd be the first one to know. It's under state investigation right now for asbestos.
Asbestos. Yeah. Well, you know,
Because of our work and our bringing this information to the
Yes,
table. Matter of fact, the
that's-
state just started calling the people last week, the people that own businesses there.
I remember that. I remember visiting with you at some point in time, Brother Eric, about that a few months back. So some fruition.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
this-
I got a call from the Texas Department of Health
Okay.
after I petitioned them last year to open up an investigation. It took them an entire year
Yes.
to decide, and they called me 2 months ago and said, "Mr. Williams, we're opening up an investigation in the Redbird Mall for asbestos exposure."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't until last week, the first week in January, this week rather,
Okay.
that they actually start calling candidates to interview about what has occurred over
So
at
what do
Redbird Mall.
you mean candidates?
The
Brother Eric?
tenant owners.
The tenant owners. Okay. Because like when you did something that I
Yeah, we did
I-
four protests out in front of Redbird
Right,
Mall.
correct. And then there were some people who were part of the protest who were merchants inside that mall.
Yes, these were the tenant owners and
Tenant
and employees that have been impacted over long-term exposure. And there again, I petitioned the EPA, I petitioned the federal government, I petitioned the state. We even sued them. And we're just now getting where we're getting traction on this entire deal. It's been a lot of people. And the reason why I got involved in this, Brother Joe, they called me and they needed some help because they wasn't getting help in the community. And because my father died of asbestos exposure and his brother died of asbestos exposure, I felt the need. I've dealt with this already in the past, and I know that it only takes a little bit for us to have been impacted by microscopic asbestos dust.
Yes. Oh yes.
And that mall was built in '75, and,
Oh, yeah.
and asbestos
Loaded.
was completely, not a complete ban in '73, partial ban.
Portion.
I'm elected to Congress. I want a complete ban on asbestos because I firmly believe that this is a actual picture of what's going on in our urban communities around the nation
Yeah.
with these old malls. The reason why we have so much lung cancer in our communities.
Well, you know, you mentioned that, and I may have shared it sometimes a year or so longer, that I had a brother when he left the military in the Air Force in 1970, and he went back to my home area there, Mineola, Tyler, and so he got a good paying job. He and several other of his friends, and one of the cases, after they'd done their 4-year stint and some others, he got a good job, Brother Eric, at General Electric in their air conditioning units. I didn't know it. My brother never shared it, but one of his classmates and friends, he's still alive, but he's had heart attacks and operations, things like this. He told me that when they would leave General Electric, which is now Trane, Trane, you all know, can you stop a train?
Yep.
Okay, just so you will connect. Trane air conditioning, but it was formerly General Electric. And a lot of black folks and other folks made good money, but they were exposed to that asbestos and those dangerous aspects of that. And even over it, there was a couple of foundries over there. One was called Western Foundry, that was just north of Tyler, between Tyler and Mineola. The other was called Tyler Pipe.
Yeah, that's where my uncle worked that got exposed with asbestos. He was a part of that same lawsuit that you're speaking of. He worked at Tyler Pipe and was exposed. Especially, he's now deceased.
Yeah.
And my father is deceased because I say they were killed. Because when you willingly know that you're exposing somebody with this poison.
Yes.
You killing them.
It's like pulling a gun.
They got a
on
$1 billion
everybody.
fund set up because they know they're killing black folks in the
Yeah.
black community.
Yeah.
But they getting these developers coming in here and getting them sweetheart deals, tax abatements, and they fudging the numbers, and they coming in here getting these deals, and they poison us, and then they want to clean it up afterwards.
Yeah. Well, my brother worked for GE Train for 36 years.
See,
36 years, and he died of he did smoke.
this was your brother.
This is my brother.
See,
Yeah.
so you know firsthand.
I know firsthand what happened to him, and then there were many others who worked there. But this guy, our friend that lives at Middle, the one that's had heart attacks and things, multiple, he said that when they came home from work, that's what I was about to say earlier, when he came home from work,
Yes.
uh,
He had the dust on him, and it was
he said,
secondhand.
he said they had to get stripped down,
Yeah.
completely
Completely.
nude outside before they went and
And I'm glad
into
you
the
brought that up,
house.
Brother Joe, because one of the things I found out in doing my research on this is the fact that secondhand exposure is just as bad as the firsthand
Yes,
because the
uh-huh.
parents bring it home and
Yeah.
expose it to the kids.
Yes.
And unknowingly, you've been exposed.
Well, you know, I've been on this term epiphany since I spoke over in Tyler
Yes.
a month or so ago, and I shared with them about watershed moments,
Right.
and the life and epiphanies. But I just had one, and you was talking about the secondary exposure. Now, if they shook that stuff off outside, and then went on inside, got the shower, but this is not dust that's like when the rain comes, it's going to just turn that dust back into soil.
No.
This is an artificial
poison.
agent
Yes.
and whatever. So then when it's washed, it doesn't all leave the clothes with
Yes.
it. It wouldn't all,
It doesn't go away.
it doesn't go
But
away.
just give you an example of what occurred over at Redbird. To give you an example, to piggyback. What they were doing, the previous owners, and I won't call no names, but the previous owners, they were allowing tenant owners to do their own demolitions
Modified.
in exchange for free rent. Because if the mall had to do it,
They had
it'll
to
be
get
just like
permission.
it's being done now. They have to do it correctly. They have to put it down, best a survey, and file a notification with the state that they're getting ready to do this removal.
Yeah.
But they let the tenants do it, and when they let the tenants do it, they tore up the floors and exposed black mastic, which is the most poisonous of them all. And now we got tenants and shoppers walking through this mall consistently for 20-some years, 30 years, exposing people unknowingly. And then you want to wonder why we have the highest rate of lung cancer in these zip codes in the southern sector of Dallas. It makes you question. So my thing is, should I be elected? One of my first challenges in Congress would be to be a complete ban on the asbestos and to go in and try to figure out why it's so much lung cancer and coming out of these urban communities, what the cause of that is. And I believe the root cause of that is some of these malls in these urban communities that were built in the 70s.
Yeah. No, I understand that. That's good. Well, you know, we're gonna need to talk some more about that, and then gonna have to have you back, because like there's so much that we need to deal with, and relevant to your run for congressional District 30.
Yes.
Straight party
voting.
for straight party voting. So this folks way down the line get votes, but not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Not this year. Not this year.
Not this year.
No, it goes away this year, thank God. And hopefully that these new voting machines that they have and these new procedures that you can vote anywhere this year, and the fact that you got to pick it. You can't be a lazy voter
You
this
can
year.
vote any place in Dallas County.
Any place in Dallas County. Yes. So this year you got to pick it though. You got to pick it. You can't be lazy. And so I want to take advantage of the fact that you have to choose the candidate and not the party this year.
Yes.
So I want to be the one that is chosen in the general election as an independent candidate representing District 30 from Dallas. Let's do something different. You know, the definition of insanity, I believe, is doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
So let's change it and flip it up a little bit this year. And I think the environment right now needs somebody who understands foreign policy and local issues like I do, and I've got experience in both
Yeah,
of those.
and aside from that, and a people's person.
And a people's person,
You
yes.
know, you go around some of these, and we're over our time.
Yes.
But we go around some of these people who are elected officials, and they don't do it to me. It just put me in a greater state of being PO'd and whatever. But it's like it's as though they're a god.
Yes,
You're just a man.
that's it.
And you
Elected by the people.
Elected by the people. You put your pants legs on. That's the only way I do. And the only way that anybody on this earth, audience, anybody on this earth, and throughout all of the mainstay of mankind, the only way anybody has power and control over you is that you acquiesce and you grant them that. Well, I'll get, hey, so-and-so's going on, you can call in for free. Or they could call in themselves and say, hey, I'm Joe Tave and I'm supporting Eric Williams
Yes.
for the U.S. Congress.
Absolutely.
So they could have done that.
They could have done
And
that.
so otherwise, that's just the way
Well-
it is, and somebody may or may not like it, but I did my best to try to be fair about it, and beyond that,
That's it.
okay, all right, you were about to.
Well,
say
no, I
something.
was just getting ready to say, as I walked in, I saw my colleague Barbara Caraway.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, we're friendly and we're cordial, but we're
Yeah.
competitors. But we're cordial. And I
Yeah.
still love her just like I love everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, we're friends. I've stayed at her family's house and,
Yeah.
you know, and we're friends. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's whoever wins. And
Yeah.
whoever wins, I will support whoever wins.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
whether I win or she wins, I'm going to support because we need to get Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson out that seat.
Oh,
But you got to count the cumulative record that she's been representing the southern sector when she was on the state level.
on
as
state
well.
level. Okay, I got you.
You can't discount those.
Yeah, that's right. State
I'm gonna give her
level
all her
and then
years.
Then the federal level.
Yes.
Okay, I said
I'm not gonna slack on the years.
So we're gonna give her all that she deserves.
I'm gonna give her all of that she deserves. I really believe should be considered emeritus Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. Let's go out with a bang.
Yeah,
You know, she's done some great things,
yeah,
but it's just like any relationship. What have you done for me lately?
yeah. What have you done for me lately?
You know, she opposed impeaching President Trump in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then she had to come on board when all the other Democrats came on board. You know, so I don't know. You know, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Brother Eric, thank you
Thank you.
for coming by.
Please have me back.
Oh, you got that, and we'll be talking about that.
Great.